DIY.
DIYers, there's a lot of speculation that is happening. I don't know if you caught it here on social media specifically about whether or not Kendrick is hinting at a Black Hippy reunion.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
We're going to break all this down via some tweets and some stuff that I've compiled, and why I feel like it may be telling an even bigger picture. Something that we might even got mentioned from the conversation that I had with Punch in the interview on this channel. Definitely go check that out if you haven't. But the speculation about one of the most interesting, one of the most talented groups that we have seen come together in Black Hippy, which is obviously Kendrick, is J-Rock, it's Ab Soul, and Schoolboy Q. There's been a few things that have been added to this theory that seems to be gaining a lot of steam. Now, I don't know how many of you saw this, but as Kendrick has been doing all of these shows overseas, he started wearing this jacket, and there's something interesting about this jacket. Let's go ahead and play it. Right? It's got cards on the back. I'm pretty sure it ain't the only jacket that got cards on the back. I'm sure there's a lot of bikers who are like, yeah, I got something like that. But here's where it starts to get interesting, and I'm not sure who actually was the first person to break this theory, but I know where I saw it first. Shout out to Sinwap. Sinwap said, 4 cards. Black Hippy has 4 members. He's talking about the cards here on Kendrick's jacket. 4 cards equals 4 months. Don't know where that came from. But he said, and who's here in December? Kendrick and Q. So I'm assuming he's in Australia. We're going to talk about that in a second. But Schoolboy Q just got added as an opener for the Australian leg of the Kendrick tour. Okay, just theories. Please ignore those who are out there cutting the grass right now. Shout out to them. They try to cut this theory up. Look, here's where it starts getting even more interesting. When you zoom in on the jacket, it's not just any cards. You don't see a queen and, a bunch of, you see some very specific letters. Miss Prive Love says it's happening. Black Hippy's on the way. Let me go ahead and zoom in on this so you can see what I'm seeing now. That's interesting. Right now, I know Soul has been on tour. So we know that he's already active. We know that there should be new music coming. J-Rock, I don't know what the status of what's going on. And I'm just like, yo, I'm looking from the outside. I have not been privy to any information, but this is pretty damn interesting. And it feels like Kendrick has been leaning into not the conspiracy theories, but leaning into the idea that it's always deeper than what's at the surface. So this is part of what got folks talking. It's interesting. Let me know what you think. Do you think that that's just fans stretching? There is many of us who also remembered earlier this year, as the announcement of the Super Bowl and everything was happening, J-Rock put this in his stories. And that song that I think has been confirmed to be called Bodies, something like tiramisu. J-Rock posted this up, or he reposted this and said, Bodies at J-Rock, Solo, Groovy Q, Black Hippy 4L. You would not have a soul even if I had told you to stand next to Johnny and Q. I don't know if that's him alluding to a possible Black Hippy version of that song where everybody's on that song. Up until now, we've only got a teasing of just the verse from Kendrick. Who the hell knows what fans are going to theorize, especially when you get this. This is what I was talking about earlier. Dog Ninja posted this. He says Schoolboy Q will be joining Kendrick on the Australian leg of the Grand National Tour in December. Now, here's where I started to dig a little bit deeper, okay? Because it's really easy to get caught up in this and come up with all kind of theories. Everybody thought when the cars started being more present on the tour, immediately that meant that we were getting a deluxe album when none of that was promised. Even though double back like a deluxe is a pretty interesting line. This is where I thought it really got interesting. And this actually comes from a post that I saw just today by Punch, obviously the CEO of TDE. Now, he posted this poster. I don't know where the poster is located at. I'm assuming it's in one of the TDE headquarters or studios, but there's two different posters that you're going to see here. In his caption, he says, so much history here. Gotta update this. We're missing a couple joints. TDE, respect the art form. It shows you every album or almost every project that dropped from TDE since 2006. Okay, 2006. You got a lot of albums here that definitely make up the foundation of, the legendary legacy of TDE. You got more albums leading up to 2023. Now, obviously, there's a lot more that's released since then. But here's where it's interesting. If we're looking at 2006 being sort of the first project being acknowledged, at least on this poster, it's got me really thinking, especially after that conversation, like I said, that I had here live with Punch. Could there be something for 2026, which would help me to kind of understand where the 4 months, I don't know where that 4-month theory came from, but that would kind of lead me just as a viewer looking at this saying 2026 will be the 20th year. And based upon the conversation I had, he was talking about how legacy is the most important conversation right now for TDE. I start thinking to myself, that could absolutely represent some kind of Black hippie reunion, or it could be a time to celebrate the legacy and the impact of TDE. That's the only theory I got for you. I just think that when these type of things happen, they're really dope to see happen in hip hop because, you want your fans thinking, you want your audience thinking, you want your audience excited about what could possibly happen. And man, what better time to start making things happen than the 20-year reunion? I don't know, DIYers. Just had to make sure I shared that with you. Those are my thoughts. You let me know what you think in the comments below. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Don't be greedy. Peace.